Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. This is World Combat Sports. Your only one, your best one, and the hottest one. Today, we're talking about UFC 238. My other passion to the game of combat sports coverage. You can best believe it. Hopefully, I get some participation from those who tuned in. You know, it will be an exciting card. And hopefully, I get some MMA fans in here today, because we need to get deep down into what the mixed martial arts community is all about. And hey, it can't always be boxing. You got to get a mixed martial arts some love too, because they're doing big things. They're very active on a weekly basis with their fight cards. But what I like to do when I break down bouts, I like to go back into previous bouts they had just a little bit and give you an understanding of where they have arose up to now. You know, how did they accomplish that? Who did they beat? And what are their plans? Are they going on a title run or what? This UFC is much different from boxing. It requires a lot more areas of concern for you to be able to talk about them when it comes to a media sense. I think that's why a lot, unless you truly orientated and show your dedication in covering the sport, they don't talk about it. Because if they're on the ground, you have to know what's exactly going on. Full guard, half guard. You know, what they're trying to do is a risk control. You know, then it comes into play as far as who has control of who. Just because you're on your back doesn't mean you don't have control. Whether they're trying to set up from the bottom. Those fighters that's on the top, what's exactly going on with them? Are they trying to set up a triangle choke? You know, arm man choke. Are they trying to advance, move to position, land strikes from the top? It's just a variable of things that just goes on in mixed martial arts. I know right now, Golden State Warriors and Toronto Raptors are on. I know that's where most of the people are tuned into, and I agree. I mean, I understand. It is what it is. Golden State 48 and Toronto 55. So it's a great one. It is a great one. Let me kick this off. UFC 238. You know, Ultimate Fighting Championships. That's where we at. Another card on deck coming on Saturday, June 8th, 10 o'clock p.m. 10 o'clock p.m. That's when the card will be hosted. I'm going to start off with the bantamweight division. The bantamweight division is the 135-pound division. And I like it from the guys' perspective because a lot just happened in the bantamweight division. Now, you have to understand and, you know, follow the sport enough to know how important the bantamweight division is. You know, you have the welterweight division, you know, in boxing a little bit, the heavyweight. But when it comes to mixed martial arts, you know, that bantamweight division right now is kicking up some numbers. And the 55-pound lightweight division, it can't kick any noise up because Khabib Nurmagomedov is in his way back from his suspension. So he should be fighting somebody. We don't know. Conor McGregor wants that fight. But that division could be pretty hot. And then you got to take consideration the middleweight division of 185. Kamaru Usman defeated Tyrone Woodley. And that was a shocker, but two wrestlers went in there, and Kamaru Usman looked absolutely superb, dominant, and was able to do what he wanted basically with Tyrone Woodley. Anything he wanted. It was just unbelievable what happened. But right now, let's stick with the bantamweight division, 135-pound division. We have Henry Cejudo the gold medal Olympian, the gold medal Olympian wrestler. He is legit. He is an anomaly to that win, especially when it comes to the U.S. And you have Marlon Moraes. You know, those are the main event. So I want to start off with Jimmy Rivera. Why? Because that's about as low in the fight card I'll be able to go without some of you all not really knowing who I'm talking about. Jimmy Rivera, his record is 22-3, and his opponent Pet Yan, his record 12-1, just one defeat. Very minimal losses between the two. A disparity in experience, because Jimmy Rivera at one point in time, he was on, I would say Jimmy Rivera was on maybe like a 14 fight win streak. Okay. And it'd been a while before he lost. So he had dispersed like fighters like Uriah Faber. And he stepped in there against Marlon Moraes, who's on the main event tonight, facing Henry Cejudo. And at that point in time, you know, people was like, hey, he's gonna give Marlon Moraes a heck of a run for his money, this, that, and the other. And he went in there, and Marlon Moraes did a beautiful switch kick and kicked up over the guard of Jimmy Rivera, who was holding his right hand up to block the kick to the body, but he didn't plan on Moraes going over the top of his guard and clipping him in the top of his head, which stunned him, and Moraes closed in, landed some ground and pound, and finished him in round one. Very, very quick, lethal fighter in Marlon Moraes. Might be short, but he's very compact, precise with his shots, and he gets the job done. So he goes in there and you know, rebound just a little bit. You know, Jimmy Rivera rebounds just a little bit and faced John Dodson. John Dodson was one of the winners of the Ultimate Fighter. He's the one who upset TJ Dillashaw back in the day. But his professional career haven't did too much of any damn thing. You know? Boxing Counter Elite. What's up? Combat Sports, I enjoy your conversation of urban reality. I call it on playback. I can't use your knowledge of MMA to catch up on UFC. I appreciate that. A lot of people were on the City Mobcast as well. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I'm just not sure of the times and everything about the City Mobcast and all those guys. So I just, you know, I have to get in where I fit in with certain topics. But you know, those are the big dogs that's roaming the yard with the microphones and everything. And I support them, you know. But I just have to find my time slots to get in where I fit in, and hopefully, you know, get enough people just to join in and say, okay, yeah, let's hear what he got to say. But yeah, shout out to Smoke City Mobcast. I did a video with them. You might not know, but it's a video that I did a while ago before I even really got heavy on YouTube. It was the LDBC video. It include 78 Sports for 9. You know, Smoke City Mobcast, and I might have put Blue Blood in there, but it was like a scenario base that I did, man. If we was in California. But anyway, Jimmy Rivera, he's going against Pete Tran. I do look forward to Jimmy Rivera. You know, he's coming off that win with John Dodson, right? And then he stepped in there with Jermaine Sterling, Funk Master Flex. And Funk Master Flex was end up, you know, having enough striking and consistent punching to get a decision over Jimmy Rivera. What's fucked up about that is, you know, he was trying to get back in the title run, and Sterling defeated him, gave him his second defeat in the UFC. So that sets him back, and that's why he's low on this fight card right here. He's fighting Peter Tran 12-1. and it's going to be a pretty competitive fight. But I still look for Jimmy Rivera to take control of the bout, land his kicks, get the takedown, and do damage that way. I just don't see this guy having enough to hand Jimmy Rivera a third loss in the UFC. I just don't see it. I'm not saying he can't, but I just don't see it. Moving on the lightweight division. You know, that I deal with boxing, I like to give people understanding what the differential in the weight classes is from mixed martial arts to boxing. The lightweight division in boxing is 135. Okay, when you go to the lightweight division in mixed martial arts, it's 155. Could you imagine? It's 135 in boxing and 155 in mixed martial arts. So who we have contending lightweight Tony Ferguson. As you probably looked at the news a while ago, you know, the police was called to his house because he was having mental issues. It's not like he attacked his family or anything, but he was just going through some stuff. Probably just needs someone to talk to. He is a fighter. He has taken an extensive amount of punishment in his career, but he's a weird dude. Like he's a very, in his own way, Sung Freud, carefree, but he is a wicked type dude. Like he know how to do all these type of moves. Break dancer, you know, really try to get the crowd into it. He's 24 with only 3 losses. You know, he's been in there with some heavy hitters, well respected. He's going in there with the guy who's probably one of the most well respected MMA fighters in the sport, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, a wild boy as I call him. I call him Wild Boy. I actually seen Donald Cerrone before. He was doing some watercraft event or something, but in his career, he's been one of these guys in between fights to go out there and ride his boat fast, you know, ride, do water sports, ski fat, all that in between fights. He has a record of 36-11. And that's not because he's a subpar fighter. It's just because, you know, he really didn't take making a title run serious. He just was there to pick up a check and continue to win if you win, and then somewhat lose if it's lose. Now, to certain fighters, you would look at that, it's like, man, what a trash fighter, like what a bag. He ain't really trying to do anything special. But that's not the case with Donald Cerrone. You can't compare him into that negative bomb bag, you know, saying that he just don't take the sport serious. He just had a kid recently, totally rededicate himself, his focus and everything. He's on a 3-fight win streak. I mean, he really loves his little boy. He had his first kid, a little boy, and he brings him to the cage every single time he fights now. And I'm very happy for Donald Cerrone because he looks old and groggle, but Donald Cerrone is a lethal all-around striker when it comes to mixed martial arts. He has jiu-jitsu, octopus on your body jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? Wrapped in Constantine wire jiu-jitsu. Stumbled upon a reticular python jiu-jitsu. He has awesome striking. Very tough guy. He can, you know, 1 minute punches you, the next minute he kicking you. It don't matter if it's mid, the low body, head kick. That's Donald Cerrone. He can get it done. My prediction between Tony Ferguson and Donald Cerrone, I still have on the momentum that he has right now, Donald Cerrone defeating Tony Ferguson. Even though Tony Ferguson really hasn't lost since he hasn't lost for a while. I think 2017. He just had a lot of canceled bouts with Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he's been out the sport for a while, just nursing some injuries and stuff like that. So I kind of predict that fight going to Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Next, from the lightweight division, we move to the women's flyweight division. You have Valentina Shevchenko, 16-3, aka the Bullet, and Jessica Evil Eye. Now, one thing to know about Valentina Shevchenko, man, She was at 135, and she ended up stepping in there with Amanda Nunes the first time, and she lost. A lot of people felt that decision would be a little bit different, but she took the loss in stride, went in there and dispersed Holly Holmes, then went in there and took on a game jiu-jitsu ground practitioner and Juliana Pena, and she subbed her. She subbed her with an armbar. I still remember that day, man. She subbed Juliana Pena. I was like, damn, Valentina just don't have just Muay Thai striking. She's lethal on the ground. And Jessica I has been on a roll lately. She's been doing fairly well. If you don't know her husband committed suicide, and she has since, you know, I wouldn't say gotten over it, but she has moved on and start competing consistently or frequently in her career. And Jessica I is a pretty scrappy fighter. She's the right matchup for Valentina Shevchenko. She is the right. I know she's not going to be fearful. She's going to go in there and counter when she has to counter, and she's going to take the lead whenever she has to. The reason why I say it like that, because Valentina, she is that pure, raw, former Muay Thai striker. She is a well-decorated Muay Thai striker, hands down. So Valentina can take it anywhere she chooses to, but Jessica I does have pretty decent wrestling. So if I had to say what was going to happen between these two, it's going to be a standing battle. It's going to be a standing battle. If Jessica I believes that her wrestling may have since improved that much more, she might try something and take Valentina Shevchenko down. I'm gonna tell you, how dangerous Shevchenko is. When she went in there and fought Amanda Nunes, and then when she took that loss, she fought Holly Holmes. She went in there and had another fight to the lead up. I forgot what the name was. She had 2 other fights, and then she ran in there again versus Amanda Nunes. The second time around, it was a controversial decision. Amanda Nunes, a 135-pound champ, ended up winning a split decision. So Valentina said, all right, I think I'm done with the 135-pound division. They're opening up a 125-pound flyweight division. So what she did, she moved down to the flyweight division, and Nico Montano, who just moved up from the Ultimate Fighter and won the finale, she was set to face Shevchenko. So like I told you all before, she was up there, taking pictures, doing the crowd thing, having a good old damn time. And what happened? She pulls out of the bout and leaves and say that something was wrong with her body, like her stomach ache. She couldn't hold down anything. So Dana White stripped her of the title. She didn't allow Nico Montano to hold on to that title. So she said, we're going to schedule another bout with Valentina Shevchenko going in there and challenging for the belt. And that's exactly what happened. And she was able to win the belt. And now she's going in here to defend it versus Jessica I. And I still give Valentina Shevchenko the edge. I can't go against the bullet. She's just too much of a talented fighter. I can't go against her. So I have Valentina Shevchenko, the women flyweight division. That is going to be the co-main event. 125-pound division. Valentina Shevchenko 16-3 and Jessica I 14-6. It will be a game fight, and I'm pretty sure it's possible one of these ladies may get subbed. Valentina have had consistent subs in her last couple of fights. So we'll see. Moving up to the bantamweight division, the men's bantamweight, that is a 135-pound division. The 135-pound division. He's going in there. Him and Cejudo, 14-2, is challenging Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes is challenging for the vacant bantamweight title, which was vacated by TJ Dillashaw. And just a little history, TJ went TJ was pretty much on a roll, being heralded as one of the top pound for pound mixed martial artists in the business, right? And he ended up popping dirty. The fucked up thing about it, which he was coming off of wins, and he went down and moved to 125 to try to clean up and do away with the division. And he wasn't able to go down there and fight Demetrius Johnson when he was here. So Henry Cejudo, the current champion who beat Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, took on TJ Dillashaw, and he ended up knocking him out in the first round. It wasn't for the 135-pound belt. It was for the flyweight belt. So he sent TJ back up to 135, and then he ended up popping on a test, and he had to relinquish his belt. Once TJ Dillashaw relinquished the belt, Dana White set up a vacated title match of basically about a championship bout for the vacated 135-pound title. Henry Cejudo is the current 125-pound flyweight, and he will be contending against Marlon Moraes, who is currently a 135-pounder. But they're giving Henry Cejudo a chance to be a champ. If he wins this bout, he will be the 125 flyweight champion and also the 135 bantamweight champion. A lot of people know Marlon Moraes, his opponent from the neighboring organization WC, and he's a solid striker, man. He's a Brazilian, I believe. I'm not sure, but I've seen him fight several times, and he is a very thorough striker. He is that guy. He's well-rounded. Very, like, his switch kicks are somewhat like Edson Barbosa-esque. His fast twitch fibers are amazing. Amazing. His timing is amazing. He loves doing his switch kick, especially off the timing of an opponent that may be going for a takedown. If it's not a knee that you're going to get a kick to the head. That's how he closed out Aljamain Sterling, and that's how he clipped Jimmy Rivera. So Marlon Moraes, he is a fast-thinking guy who can make those adjustments and put that shocker to your head, that shin-to-head shocker. That's what he does. Henry Cejudo, he's came a long way since that gold medal Olympian win of his. And inside the mixed martial arts cage, he's improved and polished up, that he's not just a wrestler that lays in praise. He's improved his striking. And when he went in there the first time with Demetrius, he was stopped with the body shot. I'm talking about a knee to the body. And, you know, he took that loss, took him almost 24 months before he returned to face Demetrius Johnson. He went in there and really applied himself. He mixed it up. He used wrestling takedowns, and then he used strikes while he was down enough, you know, to try to keep Demetrius Johnson uncomfortable. Demetrius was ring walking, you know, trying anything and everything, you know, to grab the momentum. And Henry Cejudo never really allowed Demetrius Johnson to gain that momentum. He looked so sharp on his takedowns. And Demetrius Johnson has been known to have solid takedown defense. It has been known to have pretty much equal wrestling skills to Henry Cejudo, but Henry was on a whole nother level, whole entire different level. So when he won the belt, he got the call to face TJ Dillashaw. He was initially supposed to go up to 135, but he priced himself out of it. And Dana White somehow got pissed. And they say, you know, since you want to price yourself, we're going to pay TJ Dillashaw the big money to come down there. And that's what they did. TJ came down there. He got knocked out in one round. So Henry Cejudo said, what next? I want that belt up there at 135. I got the 125-pound belt. I want that bantamweight belt. And that's where we at tonight. It's going to go down this weekend. Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes. You want to know my predictions? This is a tough one. This is a tough one because you have two skilled people that's strong in their own ways. You know, Marlon Moraes jiu-jitsu is high level like no other. Henry Cejudo's wrestling is high level. You know, you take a wrestler and you take a freaking jiu-jitsu practitioner like Moraes. Sometimes they negate one another and they keep it on the feet. Man, it's tough. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? Moraes is a tough dude. But I don't really want to go against the gold medal Olympian. I just see he's on a roll right now. I just see he's on a roll, man. I'm gonna stick with him and Cejudo, man. I'm gonna stick with him and Cejudo, Olympian gold medal wrestler. I look for him if he cannot end it in strikes, to control Moraes on the ground and possibly win on points. You know, get some takedowns, land some strikes while they're on the feet, and take it to the judges' scorecard and get that decision. Yeah, that's my prediction. And for those of you that's tuning in, Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, that is going down June 8th at 10 o'clock p.m. It'll be on PPV. That's the one thing about it. You're going to have to pay for it. And that, people, to all the mixed martial arts fans, thank you very much for tuning in. This is World Combat Sports. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, IG, Twitter, and follow me right here at a different time on World Combat Sports YouTube. Be sure to turn up and tune in. Salute.